morning on Valentine's Day. Figured me being the lonely individual that I am, I would make myself my favorite food for dinner, even though it's, Valentine's Day dinner would be like way later today, but if I want to get the video up for today, that has to be now. So I made my pasta here. $12 for this thing. Worth it. I love this pasta more than life itself. Probably my favorite food on the planet. At least top 2 or 3. If you're curious, this is what it looks like. You can find it at various stores for very expensive prices because it is a very weird brand like that. But I love it very much, and I do consider it worth purchasing because I'm a comfort food kind of guy. Comes in different sizes, yada yada. Figured I would make this for myself, and we would have a nice little lonely Valentine's Day dinner together because we're lonely. A lot of us are lonely, but it's okay. Decided to dim down the light and arrange the setup again a little differently. Still working on getting a consistent. There's no such thing as consistency in my life. I don't know why I even bother, but this is what we've got here. I wanted to give you a bit of a better angle to see the food itself and not be, I don't know what I'm talking about. Overstressing a lot. I'll leave a picture on the screen right now of like what the setup looks like right now. I kind of tweaked up the lights a little bit, and you can see like the streams that I'm watching on the other monitors and all that good stuff. Yeah. Shall we? I've actually never had a real partner on Valentine's Day before. I had a girlfriend on Valentine's Day once in high school, but that didn't really count, in my opinion. That was like a short, month-long thing. We broke up a week later. Kinda doesn't matter, right? Doesn't really count. I've had quite a variety of I feel like I've had a decent amount of partners, but they don't last very long. And we just kind of, the one long-term girlfriend that I had, we broke up in January and got back together a little bit after February, so we kind of skipped that part. Something like that. I scooched a little closer. I'm closing in on your personal space. I hope you don't mind. I mean, we're all lonely on Valentine's Day, so you probably don't mind, but anyway. If you're gonna leave a comment about it, just get it out of the way now. Yeah, I hold my fork like a goddamn psychopath, alright? This is why. This is why I'll never find true love. This gives me good control over what I'm doing. Need to pour some Diet Coke. Diet Coke sounds. I'm gonna be working on like a big Diet Coke video, maybe even tonight, I don't know, but I've got ideas. You know, if you are like one of the people that's like, you know, lonely on Valentine's Day, or like just like in general that you don't like get into relationships often, whether it's not your lifestyle or whatever, this is just my 2 cents, not like 2 cents, but this is just my perspective. If you give a fuck, you know, like when I've never been one to like, you know, like sleep around or whatever like that. Never really been my thing. Like when I was in college, I would like pretty actively be on Tinder though, looking for just like not hookups, not with just a fun life partner. I don't even know if I want to say life partner, but just a partner in general. Just because I'm not big on like hanging out with friends in real life. I like play games with my regular friends, but I'm not big on like going out with them and stuff. Not my thing. And it's nice to have like a significant other that was like, you know, when you're in college, it's a little different because you don't really know where you're going after college and you don't know what kind of relationship you're looking for. But I had I don't say a lot, I had a couple people that were just like, you know, fun little like sidekicks, or we kind of just did fun stuff until they like got annoyed with me or they pissed me off or whatever kind of stupid stuff happens that ruins your things, right? And there came a point where at the beginning of my senior year of college, I had a brief thing with some girl, and we realized she was friends with my ex-girlfriend, and that she was also close friends with another girl that I had a thing with, and it was like this big, like, wow, that's a weird coincidence that you just so happen to know and be best friends with the only other 2 girls on campus that I have ever had a thing with. Interesting. And it was like, and that wasn't the reason we stopped being a thing, but when I was single again, it was like October of my senior year, and I was like, you know what, let's just screw this girl stuff, lock the fuck in on myself, you know. I had my own apartment up there, and it was like nice to have that freedom of having people come over, you know, no parents and blah blah blah. But it was like, dude, what's the point? Gotta get my priorities straight or whatever. I just kind of stayed focused on my college work and whatever was ahead of me. You know, I didn't even really, like, I desired having a partner still, but I didn't bother getting into it. I tried to lock myself in on, you know, better things, and I did that for a while, and I did that after, and anyway, that I can talk more about that later in the video, maybe. Mind if I ramble again? I kind of want to ramble again. I'm trying to work on eating slower in my videos, not for the sake of the video, but just for the sake of my own health. But like I was saying, you know, and I'm the type of person that, like, when I like a girl, I love hard, you know, like I become pretty obsessed with us doing like a lot of stuff together. I like to make other, like a big part of each other's lives, regardless of the circumstance. Because like regardless if I'm like with an official girlfriend or with some girl that would be considered a hookup, I treat the girls the same. Because if you're my person, you're my person. That's kind of just how it is for me, you know. Not to say that you get the point. I care about whoever I'm with a lot, and it takes up a lot of like energy and time and stuff, which is good. But like I was at a point in college and after college where I was just like, I don't need to be getting involved in this. I'm not in a position where, like, sure, I could be a good partner to somebody, like, emotionally, but, like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't want to get in anybody else's way of their own life developing, and I had this girlfriend a couple years ago, and that kind of became a problem, and even though before her I was thinking about this concept, she kind of made it seem like it was not a big deal, and then she kind of made it a big deal. Not really, but, like, when I was with her, I just couldn't help but feel like, dude, we do not belong together. I've got my thing I'm trying to do. You're a very normal human. I'm not normal. And it was kind of just like a message as soon as we broke up. It was like a surge of energy to me, like, okay, just go focus on your fucking self. And I did that for, quite some time. And I guess it's just kind of like when you don't have something very captivating in your life, like a goal, or like a job or school or whatever. If you have a lot of free time and you're kind of just coasting during that free time, you're going to end up desiring a partner, and it's going to make it a bit harder. But I think you kind of just, my advice is literally just, it's corny to just sit there and say focus on yourself, but figure something out for yourself. Do something to better your life before you even bother settling with a partner or making them have to settle with you. I don't know how to explain it. There's so much productive stuff that you can do during that downtime with your life when you don't have a partner that I feel like a lot of people don't do, because you kind of, and that goes for me as well, I get sucked into like the loneliness or whatever, but it's kind of different because I have this different opportunity where I have all this stupid internet bullshit that I can do, and that takes up all of my day sometimes, and that's a good thing to suck my life into. If I was working a normal 9-to-5 job, that's kind of different. That leaves me with not much time in the rest of the day to do anything other than desire a partner. But that's my thoughts. You kind of just have to find that thing. Like if you've got a normal 9-to-5 and you're single, and you're either struggling to find a partner or whatever, then all I can say is just to find a side hustle. Make more money or get another part of school done. I don't know what else to really, like, I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not trying to tell anyone how to live their life. It's just like, set yourself up for when that time comes so that you can do more things with that partner. Or you kind of get what I'm saying. I don't know. Do something to develop your life even further. But if you're ugly as fuck, it's kind of just over for you. That's just my, I'm a realist. If you're fucked, you're fucked. Let's indulge again, shall we? Some of these noodles get extra cooked on the outside of the container sometimes. And they get a little crunchy because they're overcooked. That's a video game. I've always wanted to play that. Never have. Back to what I was just saying when I said the thing about the ugly people. I'm really realistic, and very easy, from my experience, to just go on dating apps and kind of feed off the dopamine or lack thereof of dopamine. And I got this apartment in July, right? I was 25. It's February now, which is fucking insane. It's been that long already. It's been 7 months or so. I had other stuff going on in my life at the time, but like throughout these 7 months of me, 25 years old, decent money, prime of my life, I've been on Tinder for like one day, like one night or something. Might not have even been Tinder, it might have been Bumble or maybe both for like one day. And I woke up the next day and was just like, this was back in like August maybe, and I woke up one day, or the day after I made it, and was just like, this is just not worth the mental effort, because in all reality, I'm not gonna find the type of person that matches my lifestyle. And it's like kind of one of those things where you're like, oh, you never know. And I was like that too. I remember my long-term girlfriend in college, I had swiped right on her one time, and then like been with somebody. I don't think I was even with anybody else, but like I would delete my account a lot, and I swiped right on her one time, and I remembered what she looked like. And then like a couple months later, I swiped right on her again on another account, and that's when we matched and started dating. And I was like, hey, you never know when that person might come along, or if you swipe left instead of right, suddenly years of your life are gonna change. Butterfly effect. And I guess it kind of that's always you're either obsessed with that concept or you're not. And I'm obsessed with it in the way that I like to remember that, like, don't let it take too much power in your head. Because you're always going to want to go swipe on that Tinder and try to find somebody because you think they might be out there. You never know. It couldn't hurt to try. It could hurt, It could lead you to wasting focus on yourself and let the right thing come to you. And I know that's kind of difficult, especially if you don't go anywhere and you don't socialize and stuff, but you never know when the right thing might come along with the right type of person and the right type of scenario, no matter how crazy. And if it is that crazy, if you actually love that motherfucker, then it'll actually work out, because that's what love does, type shit, you know what I mean? Dating apps are bad. I've spent a lot of money on premium Tinder accounts. That shit fucking sucks. I think it maybe got me a girl like one time. Like, it gets you plenty of matches, but I'm trying to think like how many, like what girl in particular. I think it did happen once, because I remember being like, wow, I'm with this person because I paid for it on Tinder, which sounds really bad when you say it that way, but you know what I'm saying, right? That's just another part of my perspective. Just don't let those dating apps control your mind, or don't let the ease of access of trying to find a partner there change your plan for your life. Dedicate time to yourself, not trying to find a partner, if that makes sense. It's so easy to be like, oh, but I could just go find one right now. Come on, lock the fuck in, type shit. You get what I mean. Alright, let's finish this last little bit of this here. This is an incredible batch of this stuff. Russian. That was a great batch. That was, yeah. Anyway, good little Valentine's Day rambling video. You know, it's nice to have had something to talk about for once. I feel like my videos have been pretty short lately because I haven't been talking about stuff as much other than stuff in the video, including yesterday, like crashing out over that shitty video that I made. I'm glad I made a bit of a more stable, better one today. I gotta really, I gotta figure out the best way to make these visuals a bit more consistent and better for these videos. But, you know, it is what it is. Small problem to have, you know. Far worse things could be happening. But yeah, if you're lonely, it might be better for you to stay lonely. Is that good advice? I don't know. I don't know. You know, the idea of finding the perfect person, it's pretty fucking rare. And it's just, I don't want to keep going onto it. Another 10 million tangents about this kind of thing. But I think letting things happen naturally could possibly yield the best results. And maybe to you, things happening naturally is swiping on Tinder. Go crazy if you want. Not my thing anymore. Probably never will be ever again, you know? So, you gotta remember, especially if you're a guy. Okay, well, it goes both ways. If you're a guy and you're swiping on Tinder, that girl has matched with like 100 people every day. You're gonna be pretty lucky for her to pick you out of the whole crowd, okay? You can shove your DMs down her throat all you want. You'll look like an idiot. That's my opinion. I don't text girls first when I use those apps anymore. If I'm attractive enough to them that they come and talk to me, then cool. If not, then so be it. I won't bother. You know, I'm not joining that anyway. And if you're a girl and you use dating apps, 99.9% of the people that you're swiping on are terrible people, and you know that. And so I think technically, when you think about it, we're all just fucked. That's all I got. Cozy little Valentine video. I actually had other plans to do more stuff in this video, but I decided to pull them at the last second. We'll see when they come up. It might involve Girl Scout cookies. Very possible. But you did not hear it from me. Alright, I'm out of here. Happy Valentine's Day, you lonely sons of bitches.